Hello, good morning, everyone. My honorable, please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir. Can
Yeah,
hear you.
good morning. Yeah, good morning. Thank you so much. I was able to join the last part of the public speaking class, and it was very, very amazing. And it's really nice to be here. Please, if everybody can hear, can you signify by just waving it at the chat box that I can know that where everybody is carried along? Please, I would like everyone to at least signify that yes, they are well carried along, and so we don't leave anybody behind. And okay, we have some people in the class, right? Okay, Madam Abigail Favor, nice to meet you. Oh, thank you, Madam Precious Uluwadamilola, nice to meet you. Please, I'm expecting. Oh, Ayomide, good, nice to meet you too. I'm waiting for Wachuku. Uh, I want everyone to actually just signify by a show of hand. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Okay, Madam Abigail, you raised your hand. You said you're not hearing me. Can you hear me now? I, Mr. Madam What, please, okay, please, I just want to know that you can hear me before we proceed, so I wouldn't be leaving anybody behind, please. Yeah, and it's nice to meet everyone. Uh, my honorable, please, can I know the names of those in the class? Like those that are in the class in person that are not attending virtually. The two lovely ladies that I'm seeing on your screen. Please, can I meet them? Can I know their names?
Yes. Good morning, everyone. I'm Zainab Omar.
Okay, Madam Zainab,
Good
nice to
morning,
meet you.
everyone. My name
Okay,
is Itima Michael.
okay, okay. Michael,
Good morning, sir.
okay, good morning.
My name is Boboy Zibos.
Okay, okay. Nice to meet you. Zibos, nice to meet you. So please, for those of you attending online, I need us to perform a very quick task before we kick off. So I need everyone to please upload or just send it in the chat box what you do for a living or what you studied in the university. It's very important while I do the introduction, so we can use that to start up conversations. So please, kindly just include in your chat. Uh, what you do for a living. Maybe you have a side hustle, or maybe what you're studying in the university. If you are currently working, okay, just say this is what you do, this is where you work. Please, it's important. I would like to know because it's important for the training that we're about to commence. So I would give while that is coming into the chat box, I would just briefly introduce myself and and while I will then read the messages that everyone is sending into the platform. Okay. So I'm Olutope Akinshola by name. I'm a registered builder, a construction expert, and a project manager, and also an health and safety specialist. Um, I'm privileged to have some couple of years of experience underneath my belt, but I'm still a very upcoming person. So let's just I'm privileged to have been handled. I've handled some very very significant projects, and I'm actually talking to you from Abuja. I'm so sorry that I'm not there in Benue State. I wish I could be there. I heard that Benue is a very lovely place. I've been there once, so and I wish maybe I could be there right now for the class, but maybe another time. So I've been privileged. I've actually been privileged to have some couple of projects, and I'm still handling some current. So and that is it for me. If you have any other question, I can give a feedback on it. If you have any other question for me, I would answer. So let me read a very brief info of the members of the class. Madam Ayomide Ajibuye, she studied mechanical engineering. She does not have any other side also. Madam Precious Uluwadamilola, she studied accounting. She does not have any other side also. Madam Abigail Favor, she studied chemistry. Whoa, yeah, one of those people that make us feel that chemistry is not hard. Well done, ma. And Madam Zibo is an entrepreneur. She studied entrepreneurship, and she's a baker. Oh, nice. So if anyone is getting married in this group anytime soon, please reach out to Madam Zibo. She's a baker. She can bake your cake. And just I can vouch for her that she would bake a very lovely cake for you. So, Madam Zibo, you owe me 10% of anybody from this class reaching out to you to bake their cake. Referrals bonus is mine. Yeah, I'll collect that from you.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So, and we don't have any male in the class. Oh, nice. Etima studied computer science. She's she studied computer science. Yes. Nice to meet you, Madam Etima. And please hold on. Hold on. Sorry for the break. Excuse me. So, Madam Etima, yes, we have. She studied computer science, no side also too. Yeah, and then we then have the only man in the class, Mr. Joseph. Oh, we have another guy, Ayuba. Good. We have. Okay, we have three guys now. I was about to function of Mr. Joseph to the highest bidder, and maybe probably get some additional cash. But since I have three guys, there's no problem. So we have Mr. Joseph, he's also a mechanical engineer. We have Ayuba. Ayuba studied polymer and textile engineering. Oh, that's nice. That's a very long one. And is into all kinds of meal, footwears, and event planning. We don't get we have a full house already. And so Mr. Ayuba is into event planning and also into footwear. So if you male footwear, sorry ladies, we have to look for somebody else. So for anybody, should in case you want to buy a shoe for your partner, today is Valentine, just reach out to Mr. Yuba. He will do it.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. 10% referral bonus. Don't forget.
No problem, sir.
And then Mr. Michael, yeah, Mr. Michael also studied regional planning. And it's really nice to meet everyone. I will have told you guys to add your marital status and your blood genotype. So maybe I can as well. Since today is Valentine's Day, you guys can add it if you want. Then we can do a little bit of matchmaking today. So it won't be bad. So it's nice to meet everyone. And once again, my name is Olutokwe, and I'm probably the one to be anchoring your health and safety class. We're going to be having 3 different classes.
Sorry, sir, your voice is not coming up.
Madam Zibo, can you hear me now?
I can't hear you.
Okay, hold on. Let me try and adjust my mic, and let me adjust my mic to the next, so another one that I'm using. So, okay. So, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, perfect. Okay. So definitely, I'm happy that everybody is. Okay, someone's setting another. Okay. Okay, that's the last message we have. Okay, so we're going to be having 3 different classes. Today is the first of its kind. Then we have next week, we're going to have the second one. The upper week, we'll have the third one. And this is HSC 1 and 2 compressed together in the crash course. And then we have HSC 3. HSC 3 is the advanced course of the HSC class. So, and then today we're going to be having the Diet 1 of HSC. And then from there, we'll be able to proceed to Diet 2, Diet 3. And then after that will come to your assessment. After your assessment, you're given a certification. If you pass, if you don't, you have to retake the assessments and all of that. So please feel free to cut me in between as the class goes on. And in case you have any question, please just tell me, oh, I have a question, and then I will give you the floor. You can actually ask the question, and then we proceed further. Okay. So now that we have everybody on board, I think we can proceed. So the first thing we're going to be talking about today, we're going to be talking about the following things. 4 different things we're going to be talking about today. One is the workplace hazard, accidents in workplaces, hazard effect management process, what we refer to as HEMP, and then we have job hazard analysis. This is what we could refer to as JHA, is job hazard analysis. The reason why I actually asked everyone here what they do for a living is because it makes more sense when you can actually relate what you're learning to your every single day activities and every single day work life, career, what you do for a living, how you live your daily life. It makes more sense where you can actually relate what you're learning today into your everyday activity. So for an example, Mr. Michael is an urban and regional is a regional planner. I believe that should be your urban and regional planning. So and then this is someone that maybe probably might be required to go into the bushes when it comes to mapping and doing topographic analysis and all of that. And then, to be honest, I believe Mr. Mike, you can test. Maybe you've done any field work recently. You know that one of the safety rules of UHR whenever you're on the field is that you should have your safety shoes on because of reptiles, especially when you're being deep uninhabited bushy areas and all of that. For Mr. Yuba, you did polymer and textile engineering, and then you are into footwears. So if you are into footwears, I believe you get to operate all these machines, like sewing machines, like filing machine, and then you definitely make use of hammers and nails because you are making shoes. And I believe maybe have you, Mr. Mike or Mr. Ayuba, have you experienced any situation that you mistakenly, one way or the other, maybe village people were able to tweet at you that day, and then you ended up using hammer on your thumb or or any of your fingers? Has that happened to you before? Oga Ayuba?
Yes, sir. Multiple times.
Multiple times, that kind of thing. So and then to be honest, if you actually had a safety gloves on your hand, yes, the impact will still be there, but it won't be as painful as it would be. So that's another HSC tip for Mr. Yuba. For Madam Mr. Joseph, you're a mechanical engineer. As a mechanical engineer, I believe I don't know where you are, your major of mechanical engineering, highway, maybe it's fluid mechanics, maybe it's what do you major in?
Sorry, come again.
Your arm of mechanical engineering.
Yeah.
What do you major in?
I don't get your question.
Your major of mechanical engineering, your major arm of mechanical engineering.
Okay. Into motors and this thing.
That's mechanics. That's mechanics.
Yes.
Mechanics. Oh, good. So for mechanics, you have to do a lot of works around machineries, generators, motorbike, cars. Yes, generally. And then I believe that one of the, I don't think it would be smart for me to see you dressing up in a tie and a suit and trying
No.
to.
We are we are always on our cover. But
Overall.
why coming? Well, yes, overall, yes. Why coming to work? Then after they can dress on your casual wear
Yeah.
because
So
of personal safety equipment. We use boots, all those stuff. We are exposed to
okay.
danger. Man.
Good. It not you are not wearing overall because you are broke, or you are not wearing overall because you want to wear a fabric that is very strong. You are wearing an overall because it's actually a safety wear. If you are wearing
Yes.
a boat, a suit, and a tie, and you are operating a vehicle, or maybe you are trying to work on the engine of a car, if the car is on, the tie that you are wearing on your suit can actually drop down and get locked up in one of the fan belts and pull you in, and can actually result to a major accident. So these are safety things that you actually get to work with. So, Madam Etima, you studied computer engineering, and then I'm wearing the glasses. My glasses is photochromic. I don't have any eye defects. It's just protective glasses because I get to walk around screens a lot. So right now I'm staring into my computer screen. I have another screen on top of me. Is my workstation. I have two screens right here. So, and then this helps to prevent any form of me having any form of eye defect. So for Madam Etima that is a computer scientist, she might need to get the photochromic glasses, or maybe an anti-UV lens to just prevent and just to keep us safe, especially when you walk behind the computer screen a lot. Madam Zibo, our paper that will be baking somebody's cake very soon. I believe she deals a lot with fire, baking, maybe she's using a gas oven or maybe an electric oven. I don't really know the one she's using, but regardless of any type of oven she uses or any type of oven she uses, she has to be very careful in order to prevent any form of accident. So, Madam Abigail, you studied chemistry, and I can remember very well that when when we were in secondary school, then when they did not give us access to the chemistry lab. We don't have any unsupervised access to the chemistry lab without having any form of a teacher or lecturer around. That way, to prevent any student from just going to the what's it called, to the lab and mixing anything they want at all. So it's actually a safety tip. That's why they tell you that you should be very careful when you're in the chemistry lab. So Madam Favor, right? Madam Favor, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma. So you studied chemistry, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I don't know whether I'm the only one that did it when I was small, but I'm not saying I'm a bad person, and I'm not saying I'm a wicked person, but we all had our fun when we were in secondary. So there's a
Yeah.
particular chemical in the chemistry lab that you will sometimes try to play around with, and then if somebody should vex you and you want the person to have a bad day, all you just have to do is to put a little of it on the person's dress, and the person will definitely have a bad day. Which one is that?
Please come again, sir.
There's a chemical in chemistry lab that if you want someone to have a bad day in secondary school, all you just have to do is to spill a little of it on the person's uniform.
Okay. Sir, there are lots of chemicals. I can make reference to ammonia. Like ammonia has
That
a
means you
very
did
bad.
it. That
Yes,
means you did it. For you to even know ammonia like this, number one, you did it to somebody.
I didn't, sir.
You did it. You did it. Don't worry, we won't judge you.
No,
It's in the past. You are forgiven.
I didn't.
Okay, so ammonia is a very it has a very stinking smell that it
Yes,
smells like urine. So when it
yes.
spills on anybody's uniform, the person cannot stay, and then the person definitely have a body because you have to go back to the hostel to change and all of that. So that's why
Yes,
whenever you're working in the chemistry lab, they always tell you to have your lab coat, your overall, so
yes,
that at least it prevents any form of direct contact with what you're wearing, and then
no,
it might have contact with your skin. So
yes,
the reason why I'm saying all of this is that each and every one of us, one way or the other, we actually need this course or this training because it plays a role in our daily life. Okay. So without wasting much time, let's dive into it. So we're talking about four things. Introduction to workplace hazard. We're looking at, after introduction to workplace hazard, we're also looking at accidents in workplaces. We're looking at hazard effect management process. We're looking at job hazard analysis. So now, let's dive into it. Now, I will be very fast. I'm so sorry if I'm gonna be a bit too fast, but in case you need me to stop, please just let me know. I would go back and then so that we won't leave anyone or maybe we won't drop anyone off the bus. Okay, I want a situation that each and every one of us we are carried along and I don't have anyone left behind. Okay, so now the first thing to do, so we need to define the following terms so we can actually get much more conversant with the terminologies when it comes to HSC standards. So we have the first thing that we're looking at is hazard. Hazard is sometimes can be, let me put it this way, they can be immediately, they can have immediate effects and it can have direct effect and indirect effect. So what is a hazard or an hazard? A hazard is a situation that poses a level of threat to life, health, property, and environment. So please take note of the word hazard. First of all, the word hazard refers to a situation or a scenario that poses a level of threat to your life, your health, your property, and your environment. And then when it now comes to workplace hazard, it refers to any situation around your working area that poses a level of threat to your life, your health, your property, your environment, or the organizational assets around where you're working. So just like the way it is, an hazard is the general term for any situation that poses a level of threat to your life, health, property, and environment. Then workplace hazard should be the situation around your workplace that poses a level of threat to your life, health, property, and the environment where you're working, and also the organizational assets where you're working. So now, please let's take note of the four things that any form of hazard as or workplace hazard actually affects. So the four areas of impact of any form of hazard in any working environment are four. Then we have the people, which is the human resource. We have the environment, that's the host environment where the organization is located. We have the assets that has to do with the equipment, the facilities, the machineries, and then we then have the reputation. That's what the company is being known for. So it was this week, right? I believe everybody is aware that Arik Air had the situation. Well, was it yesterday or the day before today? And then they had to do an emergency landing in Benin, and that was 2 or 3 days ago. I think we are all aware of that, right? Are we aware? Nobody's aware. Anyone?
No.
Okay, so I will put it up on the group later on. So and then they actually had to do an emergency landing. Actually, I saw it online, and then I saw the news online where Arik had the little issue on one of their planes that was on the air, and then they had to do an emergency landing. So but I beg, I'm not spoiling their markets. I'm not. I'm just making that. And for example, if we're talking about, I believe each and every one of us, we are all from diverse or from different areas of the country. So, for example, when you hear the word, please forgive me if I'm going to be a little bit biased when it comes to the area of sampling, or when it comes to the key people I'll be using for example right now. So, for an example, when you hear the word beggar, I believe we're all aware of Beggar is a construction company. So when you hear the word beggar, please, what comes to your mind? Anyone? When you hear the word beggar, like when you hear that there's a project and you know that beggar is working on that project, please, what comes to your mind? Anyone?
That the road is not going to last. The project is not going to last.
You say it.
I said the project is not going to last.
Beggar.
I can't hear you, sir.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
You said
What do you say, sir?
when you hear the name Vega, Mr. Robbie, you are saying something.
Yes, when I had Vega, I know Vega is a construction company which do qualitative work, and when they are given a work, I know they will do it qualitatively.
Thank you very much. So when you hear the name Vega, you know that they have a reputation to deliver. Yes, even though very expensive, they have a reputation to deliver very well with high quality. That's when it comes to Vega. But yeah, they are very, very expensive, but trust me, they will deliver your work for you with very high quality. And then when you then hear the name of, let's say, Babandejo, something construction, what definitely happen. So that's what I'm just trying to say. So now, what are the types of hazards that we have? We have biological hazard, we have chemical hazard, we have physical hazard, we have economic hazard. Biological hazard, I think, and chemical hazard. Biological hazard has to do more with those that deal with that walk around the hospital area. Chemical hazard, like Madam Favor, she's a chemistry person. She's a chemistry specialist. She studied chemistry, so I believe she will understand this better when it comes to chemical hazards. And we have physical hazard. Physical hazard generally around the work areas in the house. We try looking for the picture of the black baby trying to chew on a cable. Don't get one. I think normally instead of a Nigerian mother would not take the picture of the child. I know maybe a Nigerian mother would probably slap the child or something. So ergonomic hazard has to do with our everyday activities. When you get to work, maybe you did not sit down well at work, you were standing all day, and then yes, it happens. I believe there are situations whereby I'm not the only one that have had that experience. I believe one or two others might have also had the same experience in this class where you get to see you have that one lecturer in your class that will tell you that A is for God, B is for me, C is for the senior student among you, and D and F is for general market. And then you have to sit down all night long trying to study for the man's course so that you can have the C that the man said is for the serious students. And then the next morning when you stand up from the chair, you discover that your legs are swollen because you've been seated all night long trying to read for the course and all of that. So that's an example of economic stress. We also have mechanical hazard. We have psychological hazard. Psychological hazard, I think, is something that is common in this side of the world. That's why when you meet somebody for the first time, you apologize ahead. You first say, excuse me, I'm sorry. Like, sorry, you first say the person, sorry, can I meet you? You understand? We have a lot of psychological issues around here in this side of the world. You have anthropogenic hazard, you then have natural hazard caused by natural disaster and whatnot. So an example of an expansion of economic hazard, if you all, I believe I'm not the only one that did this in my primary school days, where you are being told to write a test or an essay, and then you then bend and cover your book because you don't want candy that did not give you tubo or biscuit to eat to copy your work, that kind of thing. So this is the proper way you actually ought to sit when you are operating the computer, even when you are working on your table or maybe you are trying to do anything at all on the table. You have to sit up straight, and then computers, you are meant to be 18 to 24 inches away from the screen so that it will not affect your eyesight. But I believe I'm not the only one then that when growing up, you almost want to enter into the television so that you can see very well. And then they have to pull you away and be like, no, sit down here, you still see it. And then you still go back and go and sit down below the television as if you want to enter into the TV. So these are all examples of economic hazard. So we have poor lighting, we have improper adjusted workstations, we have frequent lifting, we have poor postures, we have awkward movements, we have repeating the same movement over and over. Those are the examples of ergonomic hazard that we have. So now let's go further to discuss on accidents. So we've been able to discuss that hazard is a situation that poses the level of threat to your life, your health, your property, and your environment. And then the four areas of impact of any hazard is the people, the environment, the asset and then the reputation of the organization or for any workplace hazard. So if we're meant to go for short, we would say that an hazard is an upcoming accident, while an accident is a blown hazard. You understand? So when a particular hazard should manifest, it results into what? An accident. But when it's yet to manifest, it is what we actually call an hazardous situation. So now, what is the definition of an accident? An accident is an unplanned, unwanted occurrence caused by either an unsafe act or an unsafe condition, which is what, in quotes, we refer to as the word hazard, an unsafe act on an unsafe condition, like a scenario that poses a level of threat to someone's life. You understand? So now, what are the types of results, or what are the effects that can be caused by accident? One, we have injury or damage. Two, is either the both of them, or it's either neither the both of them. So in a situation whereby there's no injury or damage, is what we refer to as a near miss. And then in a situation whereby we have there's both, in the situation whereby we don't have a near miss, we will either have an injury or a damage. An injury is when it actually affects the person. A damage has to do with the property. Injury and damage is when we have both situations together. So for an example, you see situations where there is a car accident and then the car actually goes bad or is totaled, and then the people in the car comes out without any scratch and little shock. There's no physical injury. And then there are situations where you actually see that maybe there's an accident and then the person is injured and then the property doesn't really damage so much. And a situation whereby we actually have the both of them on the eyesight. So that's an example of injury, damage, or neither the both of them. So like we said, accident is an unplanned or unintended occurrence that is actually caused by two things: an unsafe act or an unsafe conditions. Please, I'm going to be very fast so that we can actually meet up, so we won't waste much time. So now, occupational accidents. Occupational accident has to do with accident around your working environment. Accident that occurs around one's working environment, and then a near miss is an unplanned event that did not result into injury, illness, or damage. Remember, we talked about near miss earlier on. So now this is a near miss. This is a picture of a construction worker walking in front, walking on the construction site, and then actually experienced the near miss. So a crane or a crate rather fell from height and then dropped in front of him, and then it almost actually meeting, but he was like, oh no, near miss. But I think the lesson to learn with near miss is that if it should occur, it means the moment you see that happening, you should take caution and then go for safety, because that one missed you does not mean that the other one will not miss you. You understand? So for an example, I believe there was a time that you will have heard that during the time that there were bomb blast killings and all of that, kidnapping, and then they will tell you that if you are if unfortunately you are around the area where such a thing should happen, you should quickly evacuate or get away from there, because that you did not fall victim does not mean that they are done. They might still be around. So it's very good or very smart for you to take cover or run for cover. So that's what game is majorly about. So now let's do a little bit of research when it comes to accident study ratio. So accident study ratio done by Frank Ebert Jr. as far back as 1969, but I have to say that there's a more recent accident study ratio more than this, because back then the level of accidents happening then were not the same as now. But this was done as far Frank Ebert. It was done by Frank Ebert in 1969, but there are more recent ones that have been done. And now, when it comes to the accident study ratio that he did, he said when it comes to 600 of 41, 600 are near misses, 30 accident will lead to property damages, 10 would lead to minor injuries, and one of them will be a serious accident. So when it comes to activities, So, and then if we have to put it daily, or let's put it at our daily lives, I one in particular is this. I believe okay, please let me throw this as a form of quiz to the class. So if you know you used the gas cooker this morning, can you just show by wave your hand at the bot chat, the chat box rather? I just want to know if you know you used the gas cooker this morning, or a camp gas, either a camp gas or a gas cooker. Please, you can just show by wave of hand at the chat box. There's a question I have for you, and then I'll come back to this. So now, what are the causes of accidents? One, we all know that there are two things that actually result into an accident. We have an unsafe act, we have an unsafe condition. So now, these are questions for the app that we need to discuss. One, are accidents inevitable? Do accidents occur as a natural consequences of our daily routine? And thirdly, can accidents be avoided? So please, nobody use their gas burner this morning, or is everybody using firewood or charcoal? I believe somebody must have made use of their gas burner this morning. Anyone? Okay. If you know you've made use of your gas burner this morning and you signify, I will transfer 2,000 naira to your account. You just drop your account number. Anybody? And I'm Zainab. No one at all.
I will not use gas today. It's still very early to use gas.
Still
But
very
we-
early.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Madam
You
Zibo,
can
fine.
come here and speak. You can speak.
Sir, you said? Ma, what did you say?
Okay, cylinder gas. Okay. Hey, I think you can hear us.
Yeah, I can hear you. What did she say?
Okay, you have used to it. Okay.
Honorable, what did she say? Oh, you are muted. I can't hear you.
Engineer,
So we
hope
use
you heard
gas.
them. You heard their feedback?
No, I did not hear. I did not hear what she said. I could not hear her.
We used gas yesterday.
Okay, you used gas yesterday. Good. So, okay, so I think I will throw the question to Madam Zibo then. So, Madam Zibo, is it okay if I ask you the question?
Okay, sir.
Okay, so whenever you want to light your gas, do you light your match first and then open the gas, or you open the gas first and light the match?
I light the match first before I on the gas.
Or you've never done this? You've never had a situation that you turn on the gas first and then you light the match?
No. I'm always scared, so I on it. I on the match before I on the gas.
Okay, but so that means you're a very careful person.
Yes, sir. That's why I
Okay,
don't
so
use
but I believe there should be someone in.
I don't use
Huh?
lighter on the gas. I'm always scared with the lighter, so I use matches.
Okay, so I believe that there should have been a situation that maybe somebody in the house, or I don't know, that whereby you on the gas first. It has happened to me when you on the gas first and then you now light the match, and then your village people will now be blowing breeze and then the match will not come on. You understand? And then all of a sudden, when you now light the match, you just hear a sudden boom. And then you now be perceiving this smell as if you are roasting rats, and it is if you're a very airy person like me, and then it will probably just like roast a little bit of the hair on your hands, some kind of thing, but not burn you like seriously. But that it has happened to me before when I was a bit younger, and then that was when I discovered that like you had to light the match first before you turn on the gas. So those are kind of daily activities that can actually result into a fire or an accident, and yeah. So the safe thing to do is to light the match first before turning on the gas. But I think we have to clap for Madam Zibo. She's a very careful person. So now, to address the questions of what we have, causes of accident, before we go further. Accident inevitable. Do accident occur as a natural consequences of our daily routine, and can accident be avoided? I would like to hear everybody's opinion on these three things. Are they inevitable? Can they be avoided? Do accidents occur as a natural consequence of our daily routine? So I need to hear from Michael, starting from who is going to go first? So who is going to go first?
I think I will go first.
Okay, Madam Zibo, you want to go first?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. So I can hear you.
In some cases, I think accidents can also be avoided.
Okay.
Yes, sir,
Why?
because let's say we are using, let me use the gas reference.
Okay.
Like, as for me, I'm very scared, so I'm always careful. I don't on my gas before I light it. Reason being that I tried it once and it almost burned down the house. So since then, I'm always careful. I on my matches before I on the gas. That's being careful to prevent the accident from happening.
Okay. Based on experience.
Yes.
Okay.
Being careful can prevent a whole lot of things, especially accidents.
Oh. Okay. Okay, that's a valid point. Thank you. So accidents, can they be avoided?
Yes,
so you're
sir.
saying they can be avoided, right? Okay, are
Yes,
they
sir.
inevitable?
No.
Why did you say no, that they're not inevitable?
Because sorry, can you ask the question? I didn't really understand it.
Okay, are accidents inevitable?
I don't know.
So are they inevitable? Are they inevitable? Okay, so any other person want to try?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, let me attend.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mr. Yuval.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You are not a gentleman. Madam Favor was about to speak, then you took the mic from her, but there's no problem. Continue.
Oh, sorry, sir. Let me allow her to go first.
No. Don't worry. She don't worry. I'll come back to her. So, Mr. Yuval, you can go. You have the floor.
Okay, sir. So, accident inevitable, I would say in a way, because there are some occurrences that occur without you knowing, or it just happened and you don't have total control on it. And then there are some accidents that happen as a result of our daily carelessness, as a
Okay.
result of as a result of maybe ignoring some things. Let's use the gas as an example.
Okay.
We all know the causes of explosion in gas. One of the
Okay.
major is leakage. And then there are times where you'll be using a gas. Let's use an instance, maybe the 5 or the 3 kg, the smaller ones that we use inside the kitchen. You find out that a couple of times you may have been using this gas for a while, and maybe
Okay.
and then you've not really been taking care of it. Sometimes you be cooking and then those splash of oil in the gas, and you not kind of clean them immediately. You allow them to stay for a while, and as a result, it develop to rust and maybe affect it or cause some damage in the cylinder. And because of carelessness, you may not really pay attention or kind of check to know if the gas cylinder is still okay or not. And sometimes you get to the kitchen and sometimes maybe you turn off the gas while offing the gas, you might not really turn it off completely. There are times that you get to some kitchen and then you hear the smell of the gas around the kitchen. But then some of us still go ahead to want to light the gas. And then I
Yeah,
feel like those
human error.
yes, those are some of the errors that can easily be avoided, but because of carelessness, we just go ahead with some of these things that causes accident.
Thank you so much. You made a very wonderful point. So, Madam Favor.
Okay, sir. I'm going to use a very common example. Instead of accidents inevitable. They
Okay.
are because, for example, like it's dark. It's very dark, maybe in your room or somewhere, and you know that at least you should have a torchlight with you, and you decide to still go ahead and walk inside the darkness, and you end up hitting your foot somewhere. So it's like
Okay.
it's your fault. Yeah, it's a human error. And
Okay.
can it be avoided? Yes, if you had just put on your torchlight. You understand? You can easily avoid it. So yes, accidents
Okay.
can be avoided. So do accidents
Okay.
occur as a natural consequence of a daily routine? Mm, it can, you know,
Okay.
because yes,
Yeah.
it can be a human error. So yes, it can
Okay.
happen. Yeah, so that's what I have to say. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Well, I think Mr. Yuba actually pointed out the right answer for question number 2. The accident don't occur as the consequences of daily routine, but occurs as the consequences of uh, carelessness, of unsafe acts and unsafe conditions. So if I wake up in the morning, go take a shower, go to work, come back home, that does not that in a way should allow or create an accident or make an accident to occur. But during the process of carrying out my daily activities, the display of unsafe acts and putting myself in unsafe conditions can actually then result into an accident occurring. So for an example, I believe maybe you guys have experienced this situation before, whereby, sorry, has anyone here been to Abuja before? If you know you're here, you've been to Abuja before, just wave your hand. If you've been to Abuja before, please, I just need someone to tell me, yes, I've been to Abuja before. If you've been to somewhere like, if you've been to Lagos before, please just type Lagos. If you've been to Abuja before, type Abuja. If you have been to Ogun State before, Songwater, Axis, just type Songwater. Yes, then I will then make an example to that. Okay, Mr. Joseph, Mr. Yuba, they've been to Abuja. So I believe okay, Lagos. Oh, Madam Mr. Rabi lives in Abuja. Okay, good. So if you've been to Abuja before, and for those of you that maybe you used along, that the sign is always like this, you understand? You will see them carry 4 at the back, 2 at the front. And then you then see that one taxi guy that the tire is probably bad. And then you see the car, you are in the car, but you can feel the car bouncing like focus. And the guy will now still be doing like 120, 100 because he quickly wants to get to where he's going and to come back again to load another set of passengers. So the daily activities or daily routine of him being a transport man or a transport personnel that moves people from one place to the other is not a bad thing. But the consequences of the unsafe act, him driving at high speed with bad tires, can actually then result into an accident. If you are someone that you drive before, if you're someone that you drive at night, I believe you might have experienced this situation before, like I have so many times, that you are driving at night and then your two headlamps are good, and then you then see one small light coming from afar, and then it's just one, only for you to move very close to the object and discover that it's actually another vehicle that one light is working, or maybe even a lorry that one light is working, and the guy is driving at light like at night like that. So it's not the daily routine that is a problem, is how you execute the daily routine. That can actually result into an accident, and then they will then be blaming village people that it's one elderly woman in the village, one old man in the village, and all of that. So it's the consequences of the unsafe acts and the unsafe conditions that people actually get to execute every single day that actually result into the accident. So let's go further without wasting much time. Thank you, Mr. Yuba. For Mr. I don't know, yeah, you say Songwater. Okay, so this is my reference to that of Songwater. The first time I went to Songwater, that I boarded a bike, another person just came in Songwater. They carry two on bike. They carry two passengers on the bike, two different people that they don't know each other from anywhere. So you are picking a bike in Songwater, you have to pay for 2 seats. So the first time I went to Songwater, I was going somewhere. I went for an event, and then I climbed the bike guy. I was used to the so-called Abuja mentality of when you pay for a bike, it's just a single seat. So I told the bike guy where I was going to, and then all of a sudden somebody else just came in behind me. I actually thought maybe they were trying to kidnap me. I was like, well, maybe come now. So the guy said, no, like it's 2 seats that you have to pay for 2 different seats. And that's if you are picking the entire bike, you pay for 2 seats. But if you are going, you pick one, and then another total stranger can pick one. So, and then you then see them driving like James Bond. I think Abuja bike guys, so they do it a lot. Like they'll be flying in between cars and all of that, driving like James Bond and all of that. Now, using the bike to commute from one point to the other is not the problem, but the manner at which the biker actually gets to ride the bike. Some of these bike men, they ride the bike as if they are playing Sega Mega Drive or PS5, and then they have an extra life in the game that when they just crash, the thing will just do reset, and then the life will come back and they continue from there. You understand? So it's as a result of the unsafe acts and unsafe conditions of how they actually get to execute their daily routines. So the next thing we're going to talk about, without wasting much time, all accidents are caused by the following. We've already been able to establish this is caused by one, unsafe act and unsafe conditions. So now this is an example of a construction worker taking a nap. Now, please, everybody can see this picture, right? Of all places for you to take a nap is for you to go and sleep on the wheels of an heavy duty truck. Now, sleeping on these wheels is not even my major problem. It's the fact that how bad it can be. So now let's put this in a scenario. Let's say the driver or the handler or the person that handles that truck is a very elderly man, and then the person was being called to the office, and let's say the person boss is someone that is very young and rude, and then the person end up talking to the man anyhow, like shouting at him, you don't know how to do your job, blah blah blah. You know the way people can be at times, that they can talk down on people. So after the boss talks down on the driver, and then out of anger, the driver just say, let's say there's a material to be delivered, and then they shout at the driver and be like, "Oh, go and deliver this material," blah 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 blah. You know how it can be at times. And out of anger, the man just gets into the truck, just start the truck, and just floors the throttle. Trust me, because of the weight and how big the tires of this truck are, he would never know that he actually just stepped on someone. You understand? But it's not the driver's fault, to be honest. I will blame this construction worker that went to sleep there. You understand? And I believe I'm not the only one. Maybe someone in this class might have seen a tweet on X, formerly known as Twitter, or maybe on Instagram, or maybe on WhatsApp status, maybe any of your acquaintances or someone on your contact on your WhatsApp status. You'll have seen it where they will tell you that if you have a little child in the house and you have a very big vehicle, maybe you have an SUV or you have an off-road vehicle like an Hilux, and all of that. They tell you that we have little children and trying to drive out of your house. Always make sure that the little children that you can actually see them, or maybe they are in the house. Because there was a scenario whereby a little child was playing in between her dad's car and then she was crushed accidentally and all of that. I believe there were maybe somebody this class might have seen that next one time like that. I think it was last year that it actually happened, that they said the man did not know, and then the child was playing in between the wheels of the car because the man actually drives a very big SUV. And then the toddler was looking for somewhere to hide, playing hide and seek and all of that, whatnot. So I believe someone in this class might have seen that actually. So these are things that one needs to be very careful about. So unsafe acts, uh, unsafe acts are actions taken or performed by someone without due regards for personal safety of for themselves or that of their colleagues. While these are the following examples of unsafe acts, we have operating without qualification, operating delicate machines or equipment without qualification or authorization, lack of improper use of PPE, failure to tag in or tag out, operating equipment at unsafe speed, failure to warn, bypassing or removing safety devices, using defective equipment, use of tools for what they are not meant to be used for, working in an hazardous situation without adequate protection or warning, improper repair or equipment, horseplay. I'll talk about horseplay very soon. And then wearing unsafe clothing or taking unsafe positions. So now, when it comes to horseplay, I played a lot when I was a child, and I will use myself as an example. I growing up, we went to government where ceiling fans exposed. There are these normal ceiling fans that do work, the type that what about please can you turn on your camera? There's one I saw a ceiling fan in your office right now. I think it's golden brown. While you were lecturing, I saw there's a ceiling fan there. Please, when it comes up, I'll show you guys something. Then in our classes, then we had those ceiling fans installed. And then at some point, I don't really know who came up with the idea of using our hand to be stopping fan at high speed. So we'll wait for the fan to be rolling, or you're allowed to roll for a while. Then we'll climb on top of our decks. And then the next thing is you just time it and then you put your hand into the blade and then stop it at once. And then because and then our guys will then hail you, hey, they will hail you. Trust me, all these things were horseplay. In my mind, I think that was the day I was literally asking the guy, just imagine those blades were very sharp. Like they were very, very sharp as the light as the knives that we use in the house. Imagine what would have happened. And then the other one that I remember very well is when it comes to horseplay is I believe I'm not the only one. I played a lot when I was growing up as a child. There was no girl in the house. We were all boys. So whenever anybody is fighting anybody or bullying anybody, and then we get to watch a lot of Chinese and Indian movies. A lot. I blame Jet Li a lot, to be honest, for some of the things I did when I was growing up. Then the next thing you go and carry knife, and then you say you are using knife to fight a sword, and I'm doing can, that kind of thing. That you guys are fighting each other with swords. So horseplay, you can definitely cut each other. And then when it comes to the other one, I think I mentioned there was another one again. Failure to warn, bypassing and removing safety devices and operating equipment at unsafe speed. Okay, I think this is another one I'll point out. Operating equipment at unsafe speed. I love cars a lot. I love power bikes. I don't own a power bike yet. I definitely would love to own. So power bikes and cars are lovely. They are nice. They're amazing. And then for those of you that maybe you've seen Top Gear before, one of the hosts of Top Gear said something. He said, "Overspeeding doesn't kill. To be honest, it's the sudden stop that kills." So when you drive your car, if you have a car and then you drive your car at, let's say, 100 kilometers per hour below, God forbid bad thing, if anything should happen, you can easily control the vehicle and maybe come to a safe stop. But like all these young bloods that are really car enthusiasts and they want to see how fast and then they are speeding with the car at 170, 160, 180. And then, yeah, that's actually operating the car at an unsafe speed because they are not trained, they don't have the skills to handle the vehicle at such particular speed. There are people that have been trained that over the years, they can actually handle a vehicle even going as high as 250 These are people that these are professionals that they race with vehicles, and even with that, an accident can occur, and then it can still result into fatal damage or fatal loss and all of that. So these are things that are very common that you see uh, uh, as regards to that people carry out as daily activities and in an unsafe condition. And when it comes to unsafe conditions are for such environments that places the equipment and the materials in a scenario that can actually result into an accident. I would, that's paraphrasing, but let me just define it the way it is. Unsafe conditions are such workplaces conditions or equipment and material conditions that can cause accidents. There are lots of conditions around it. So, in brief, an unsafe condition is an environmental state or scenario that can actually result into an accident. In this case, it is not the person. In this case, it is the environment where the person is actually working. And for example, we have defective tools, we have inadequate support or guards, we have congestion in workplaces, we have inadequate warning systems, we have fire and explosion. I remember Mr. Ayuba mentioned something earlier on that it's not just you might have someone that's actually very careful with gas, and then at the end of the day there will be a gas leak, maybe due to defective gas tank, or maybe due to defective gas pipe or something. In that way, it's not the person that is the problem; it is the environment that is actually now hazardous to the person. So you have poor housekeeping, you have hazardous atmospheric conditions, you have excess noise, you have poor ventilations, you have misuse of fire protection equipment. So now when this class started, I remember I actually mentioned something. I said, for every type of hazard, an hazard is an upcoming accident, while an accident is an hazard is an upcoming accident, while an accident is a blown hazard. And I remember mentioning that there is always a direct and indirect effect or cost of every accident. And to every type of accident that you see out there, uh, it's either resulting in an injury or damage, or the both of them, or a situation whereby there's none, is what we refer to the near miss. But regardless, the cost of every accident is always way more than we can't imagine. So if there's an accident, that if an accident should occur immediately in front of us, the ripple effect of the accident is way much more beyond what we can actually imagine, or maybe or what we can actually forecast at that particular moment. So for an example, I would just go further direct to let you know what it would lead to. So an accident, if an accident will occur, who are those that are affected directly? One, you have the injured personnel. The injured personnel will be in physical pain, mental agony. The person can experience disability, either temporal or permanent. And then the person can actually have loss of leisure, loss of earning, or loss of the person's life. Number two, the company. The company gets to actually get to experience economic loss, production loss, loss in time due to injury and loss of man hour, reputation damage, and possible litigation. Possible litigation in a situation whereby the company is the one that is not making necessary preparation or provisions to ensure that the environment is safe enough for everybody to work in. Then those that are affected indirectly. Now, let's go for those that we are not seeing that are actually behind the curtains. Now, we have the family of the injured personnel. In my privilege, the breadwinner, if the person is alive, somebody has to be in the hospital to take care of the person until the person gets well. The person that will be in the hospital taking care of the person will also be shutting down their own lives in order to be there for the person. If not, because imagine, let's say we're talking about just a couple and the husband and the wife. God forbid the husband had an accident at work and then yeah, he was hospitalized. You don't expect the wife to be able to shuttle between our workplace and then still come to the hospital and be in a sane mentality. She will be having serious mental stress, psychological stress, jogging between our office space or our workplace and jogging between that of the hospital. And in case she has relatives, yes, some relatives might have to come over to help. But in a situation, let's say even the external family members are far from her, then she will not be able to go to work, or maybe her performance in the office would reduce because she has to deal with her husband that is in the hospital, and then her boss her boss in her own a possible sanction, or maybe she can even lose her job, or maybe even quit her job because she has to be there for her husband to take care of him and all of that. So it affects beyond just the person that was involved in the accident. And then you then have the community. The community, as regards to the person's contribution to the financials and mental and physical contributions to the community. So, for example, um, I will use myself while growing up as an example right now. During the peak of the Abuja bomb, Boko Haram Abuja bomb blast, last of at the year between the year 2009 2010 ish. One of the family friends that we had was a police officer. He was actually killed in one of the bomb blasts actually. And then I remember very well that anytime, because I not like the way the communities are, that everybody's living in an estate that didn't mind your own business. When growing up, yeah, they will tell you that one mother gives birth to a child, the entire community will train the child, like multiple mothers will train the child. So I remember then that we can sleep in anybody's house. We all know everybody in the community. So, and I'm not that old, I beg, because the way I'm saying it's not too far. The way the whole thing just changes between year 2010 and 2000. I'm not that old. So, and back then, I remember then that if our parents don't want to flog us, to discipline us, all they just have to do is that they will tell you that they will go and report you to Moses' dad because he's a police officer. And then all of us will be scared and be like, Moses that will go and lock us up, that kind of thing, because he used to come back home with locks, and then you see him carrying his gun, his rifle, and all of that. So we are always scared of him and all of that. So, and then, well, it's a very sad story. After he actually passed due to the bomb blast, well, there was no one for our parents who used to threaten us anymore. Understand that kind of thing? Yeah, it sounds like as if it's a funny one, but trust me, the man actually stood as a disciplinary figure for us then when we were growing up, because him just coming out alone, and then you see everybody being prim and proper, because we know that he's a police officer and he can change it for us. They will lock us up, that kind of thing. So yeah, there's always one little contribution to the community that we actually all perform and all of that. And then the individual's contribution to the nation as regards to paying of taxes and contributing to the country economically and productively and all of that. So those are the indirect causes that we have, or indirect effects of any accident. So reasons why accidents are undesirable: one, humanitarian reasons, economic reasons, legal reasons, moral reasons, reputation reasons. Humanitarian reasons, there's no one that wants an accident should happen. You pray and you beg, you pray to God every day to, like, for accident not to happen. Because to be honest, we're all humans. You don't wish your enemy bad, even to be honest with you. No matter how much you even hate somebody, you won't pray the person to die. You always even pray that, please let nothing bad happen to anybody. And then you have economic reasons. Economic reasons means that, one, there's high cost of living, the cost of health care is high. So imagine one now being involved in an accident, then you have to now you be saving money, and all the money you're saving maybe to build a house, buy a car, you have to use it to save the person and all. The economic reasons is not favorable. Legal reasons, should in case you are able to settle the situation by lawyers that know he's responsible for the accident, no, I'm not responsible, blah blah blah. Yeah, moral reasons. To be honest, is not moral reason is not, accidents are not desirable, and reputation reasons is also a major reason why accidents are undesirable. So now, since we actually now have concluded that we don't desire that accidents should occur, then I think we need to discuss ways of how to prevent them, because we all admitted that yes, accidents are actually preventable. And how do we get to prevent accidents? By ensuring that we eliminate unsafe acts and unsafe conditions around our immediate environment. Yes, Mr. Yuba made a very, very significant point earlier, and I said that it's not a situation of you alone, it's a situation of whereby people are working together to ensure that the environment is safe, and then everybody gets to act in a safe way to prevent any form of occurrence. And then, should in case if there's any form of possible hazardous situation that anyone should notice, it is your responsibility to quickly speak up that they can actually address it and then prevent any form of accident from happening. Two things I do that I want to share with the class. Uh, my car, I own a vehicle to the glory of God, and whenever I'm driving in my car, I have a towing belt. So whenever I'm driving out, I'm heading anywhere at all. If I should see your car in the middle of the highway and the vehicle is fault or is bad, I will park my car and pull your car off the road. Because why? 3 years ago, or let me say 3 years, or more than 3 years ago, 3 years plus right now, one of my best friends actually almost lost his life due to something like that. In which his wedding, he was driving to the office, a car was bad right in the middle of the road, and then a fellow commuter that did not see the car that was parked in the middle of the road that was bad, not that the car got very bad that was left in the middle of the road, overtook another vehicle and slammed into the car that was actually in the middle of the road, the faulty vehicle, pushing the faulty vehicle forward to actually the lane where my friend was, and then my friend ran into the car. And then since then, I just myself, well, you never really know where you're sailing because you never really know what is happening. So whenever I see a faulty vehicle in the middle of the road, that genuine faulty vehicle, I'll just park and then tell the person, I can't fix your car. I don't know what's wrong. But the only thing I can do is that I can remove you from the middle of the road and pull it off so that whenever they want to attend to your car, when your mechanic comes, they can actually work on the car properly. I do that a lot. The second thing is unconsciously, I take note of fellow commuters' car bonnets whenever I'm driving. So one of my very good friends, Mr. Ulanga, almost also had an accident because he went to the mechanical shop and then his car bonnet was not properly closed. So while driving back when he was doing a 120, the bonnet, the hook that was the hook of the bonnet pulled off and the bonnet slammed on his windshield and then he had an accident. So whenever I'm driving, if I should see somebody's car, like unconsciously, I just think of it. So if I see someone's vehicle that I notice that your car bonnet is popped open or maybe you did not lock it very well, I'll just wind out my glass and just say, your car bonnet is not properly locked. And then so many times I've actually pointed to people, they actually park and then they will go and then lock it properly because you never really know where you're stealing. You never really know. Imagine you're driving, someone driving at high speed, and then the car bonnet should open and slam on the person's windshield, and the person is not a very well experienced driver, and the person should slam on the brakes. The individual coming from the back will also run into the person. So that's why sometimes you just see multiple cars involved in a car accident on the road and all of that. So yeah, it happens. So those two things, I'm very conscious of it because I have very good friends that experience that. So why do people carry out unsafe acts and why do they create unsafe conditions? One is ignorance. The other one is physical or mental unstableness. And number three is wrong attitude. So these are the three major reasons why people carry out unsafe acts or create an unsafe condition. But personally, in this side of the world, people say that common sense is not common, but I believe common sense is common, but people don't admit to common sense. That's what I personally believe, because I believe that the major problem we have in this country, especially in the Western world, or let's say the black man race, is wrong attitude. This more money jam. I'm gonna use the pidgin. Forgive my the use of the jargons right now. That people always tell you that more manager like that. She did the work and more see use that now. And we feel running like that. You carry me out. To be honest, I think the major problem we have in this country is the wrong attitude. The wrong attitude of the taxi man that knows that his tire is swollen at one corner and can actually just burst at any time, and still using the tire that way to carry people from point A to point B, not even going slowly, he's still doing 120, 110 because he wants to meet up with targets. The wrong attitude of the trailer driver that his headlamps are bad, but we drive the trailer like that with one headlight because he feels that the place is going to is not that far. The wrong attitude of people doing, concern me, should be, affect me. And there's this popular saying that people say that I think it was actually the song that there's fire on the mountaintop, nobody is on the run until when there's a flooding. That's when you know that you can't run from the mountaintop because you don't support the fire that is on the mountaintop. So, but literally, something does not have to affect you directly before you actually show concern, because you never really know how it affects you directly or indirectly. So it's all about trying to develop the right attitude and trying to do things the right way, as safe as possible, just like Mr. Ayuba and Madam Favor and Madam Zibo mentioned. I'm particularly very impressed to Madam Zibo that, well, it's out of fear. It has happened to her before. You understand? That's why she's taking caution. Which people burn down about, she, and due from experience, since then she stopped doing it the wrong way. She started doing it the right way, whereby she lit the match first before turning on the gas. But before, she used to do it too, that she would just finesse the thing and then turn on the gas and then light the match. But out of experience, it has happened before, then she's not doing it the right way. So having the right attitude towards anything you're doing actually helps to make things go safe, and both ways, when it comes to the app and when it comes to the condition. Uh, uh, I always tell my friends that whenever we're discussing, the phones are not bad, cars are not bad. It is the combination of the both of them at the same time that has the potential to take your life. So for you to have that phone that you're using to call people, to chat people, is not a bad thing. And to do that is not bad. And to drive from point A to point B, whether fast, careful, or not so fast, is also not a bad thing. But the moment you are driving on high speed and then you're still not chatting with somebody, trust me, the combination of that can actually result into a very dangerous situation. So measures of preventing accidents. How do we get to prevent accidents? Two things I think we should take note of is one, we have we've been able to identify problems that we have. We have the unsafe acts and we have the unsafe condition. Then for us to ensure that we don't have such anymore is to correct the unsafe act and to correct the unsafe. So we have the first step of we have identification, and what the second step is what? Correction. So what are the measures of how we get to prevent accidents? We refer to them as 4 E's. The 4 E's is one, we have the engineering measures, we have the education measures, we have the enforcement measures, and we have the encouragement measures. These are the 4 ways of accident prevention, the 4 measures of accident prevention. We have engineering measures, education measures, enforcement measures, and encouragement measures. Now, education measures, this is what we're doing. Whereby we're getting things enlightened properly, the effect of how things can go bad, the effect of how things can be done properly, and the pros and cons of doing it properly, the benefits of safety tips, the benefits of you being safety conscious when you're carrying out your daily routine or at work or at home. This is an example of education measures. Now, when it comes to engineering measures has to do when you're using technology and IT, IoT of things to prevent or to set up barriers that can actually correct any of these unsafe apps or any of unsafe conditions. One, and also to prevent any form of escalation in case the hazard is about to explode into an accident. Now, for example, if you have okay,
Engineer, yes.
Oh, boss.
Yes, yes. At some point, your voice will go faint. Again, it will come up. It will go faint to come up. I don't know
Oh,
if it
I
is the
think it's the
mic.
network. I actually think it's the network, actually.
Okay, okay,
But
okay.
yeah, but can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Just that when you are going,
Okay.
the thing will now faint a little, then it will come back.
Okay. I think it might be the network, actually.
Okay, okay, it's fine. All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. So for engineering measures, you have is a situation whereby you set up a tech system whereby you get to prevent any form of escalation. So for an example, if you have been into an elevator before, well, not I don't want elevator whereby I don't know where you've been in an elevator and then they like while you're inside. Is there anybody here? Just let me ask, in case there's somebody here that you've experienced before that you're in an elevator and then NEPA takes like anyone. Okay, I pray it doesn't happen to anyone here. Okay, so for an example, if you're in an elevator and then NEPA should take the light and then the elevator is stuck, there's always an emergency button that you can press, and then they get to tell that notifies any of the maintenance crew or any of the personnel to let somebody know that okay, fine, yeah, there's somebody stuck in the elevator. And also, whenever they are designing elevators, just a little bit because I learned a little bit when it has to do with elevator design. There's what we call an emergency brake when it comes to for an elevator, any form of elevator. So should in case the rope should snap while the elevator is dropping down, the sensor kicks in and then the emergency brake will lock the elevator from slamming into the ground. So those are engineering measures. Even in our cars, engineering measures, just your brakes to stop the car at high speed. Yes, those are engineering measures. You have your airbags to pop up to prevent any form or to reduce the damage or the impact on the person. These are all engineering measures where people actually use. I don't know. I know maybe some of us here might have been, maybe your school have it or not, or your secondary school or maybe your university. You might know that you might be conscious of it that maybe in your university or your building or your secondary school, you will see there are hydrant pipes in the classes, and then any form of little fire or smoke, the alarm will go off, and then the sprinkler system will come up. Those are engineering measures in order to prevent any form of fire and all of that. Enforcement measures have to do with when you're using authority to impose safety attitude on people, whereby, for an example, okay, this is a very funny one. I would say this. Uh, I believe, have you ever been to a traffic or let's say a junction or a crossroad whereby the traffic light is bad? I don't know whenever while you are driving, have you, or maybe while you are you are commuting from point A to point B, and then you are in a crossroad, and then the traffic is bad, and everybody is just trying to pass. Is anybody here that you know that you have that experience? Please, I want you to share with us. Anyone? Mr. Rabi, you live in Abuja. I believe you've experienced this before. Who say too? If you live in Abuja, Mr. Rabi, I'm sure you've experienced this before. Anybody? Okay. So if you're in a crossroad and then the traffic is bad, the traffic light is bad, you notice that everybody just trying to go by the road. Everybody. At the end of the day, an accident might occur that maybe they might actually smash into each other and then they will come down and start saying, do you know who I am? Yes, if the traffic lights are good, people still get to follow the traffic light, but there must still be a little bit of offenders and all of that and whatnot, what people just trying to find their way. But you know the funny thing? Just put a military man there and then tell him to control the traffic. Trust me, everybody will just obey. So that's an example of enforcement, whereby you try to use an authority or a power figure or someone that you know that has a supervisory role to get to ensure that people get to do the right thing. So that's why if you notice when it comes to office spaces, people will tell you that they have a line manager that they report to. They have head of operations. Yeah, so it's a organizational structure that actually try to use enforcement measures to also ensure that health and safety policies are actually well followed in the organization. People get to do the right thing. So encouragement measures. Encouragement measures is one that's actually common where, let's say, you are pushing people for doing the right thing. So, for example, if you go into Chicken Republic and then by the counter where you're about to pay for what you're getting from them, either to the left or to the right, you always see a picture frame of employee of the month. I believe maybe they get to reward them with cash rewards too. I don't know. But that's an example of an encouragement measure where you get to tell people, oh, thank you for what you do. You're doing very well. And then please have this as a form of support, as a form of encouragement for what you do. That can really push people to do the right thing. Because the next person that will be coming in, oh, if I do the right thing, it means they actually get to recognize that we're actually doing the right thing. So that's for encouragement measures. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is hazard effect management process. Now our time is almost up. I'm going to be speeding up now so that we can actually wrap up for today. So hazard effect management process. M, as what we refer to. M is a process of identifying a hazard as an HSE critical activity, the effects with a view of eliminating them or controlling them to reduce the effect to as low as reasonably possible. ALAP. Please take note of the word as low as reasonably possible. So M is the process whereby you identify an hazardous situation or an hazardous scenario. Try to analyze the effect of that particular hazard that you've identified with the mindset and the focus of eliminating them. One, when you cannot eliminate it, you control it. Two, if you cannot, the first thing is to eliminate. If you cannot eliminate, you try to substitute it. If you cannot substitute it, then you try to control it to ensure that if it should escalate, the escalation will be as low as reasonably possible. That is the major function of M, which is what we refer to as hazard effect management process. These are the processes of what we do when it comes to hazard. The principles of M, we have identification, assessment, control, recovery, and documentation. These are the four major principles of M. The first one is identification, the second one is assessment, the third one is controlling, and the fourth one is recovery. But all of these has to be properly documented because of what review, and for you to have a proper documents that you can actually go back to from time to time and you want to work on them. So now, the first one, identify the hazard and the potential effects. That's what you have to do. So you need to identify a particular type of hazard and then the potential effect of what could happen. To evaluate the effect of what the hazard can actually cause. So now, for an example, let's me use this as a potential example right now. What is the hazardous situation of let's say a taxi man that is using a bad tires? So now, yes, the bad tires are the hazardous, are actually posing a level of threat to the lives of the passengers. And now, what is the best way of resolving into that? By changing the tires and using good tires. Evaluating the effect. If the man does not change the tires, what is the effect of what can happen? It can actually cause an accident, because if the tires are going on the highway and then they should blow up, it can make the driver to lose control, and then that can actually create an accident. So then you record that, you have a proper documentation. And then what is the control that you can have? You have control effect of that's why you have federal. Oh, your tires are bad, your tires, and whatnot. And then in a situation whereby there are still those people that go to the loopholes of you trying to use enforcement measures to prevent people from using bad tires, the car itself still has safety features to prevent any or reduce the effect of any possible hazard, such as using your seat belt, the use of the airbags, the brake system, and all of that all working together. So now, as AMP implementation, I would love to carry out a class exercise with this, whereby we can properly go in depth, and whereby we won't just be discussing this on a brief note. Okay, so let me quickly use Madam Fibo. Madam Fibo, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. You are the data, right? Oh, Madam Zibo is the data. Okay. So, Madam Zibo, is she still around? Okay, I don't think she's still in the class. I think I don't think Madam Zibo is still with us. I think she joined us back very soon. Okay, I wanted us to use our business as a case study for the M implementation, but I think maybe we'll just leave that for now and then come back to it later. And then let's go to risk assessment. Please, class, can you remind me that we want to do an exercise on M, and then we'll use a case, we'll use Madam Zibo's bakery and cake ideas as a case study in order for us to break down EMP analysis so that we would be able to relate it properly amongst our daily activities. So now let's quickly do risk assessment before we call it a day, because maybe we will do that next class. So HSE risk assessment. A risk is the likelihood that someone will be harmed by an hazard together with the severity of the harm. So a risk is the likelihood of something occurring. It's the likelihood of someone getting harmed by an hazard, actually. So let's just paraphrase it and move on. And now, what are the types of HSE risks that we have? We have potential loss of life, assets, and production, potential damage to health, environment, assets, and reputation. Please remember the four major areas of impact of any type of hazard. We talk about the environment, we talk about the assets, we talk about the reputation. So now, aim of HSE risk assessment. Why do we carry out HSE risk assessment? To compare alternatives, especially in the design phase. So whenever you're carrying out your risk assessment, it allows you to be able to compare ideas of, if I carry out this system, if I use this methodology, if I should use this technique, if I should use this other technique, what can actually happen. So for an example, the popular saying of there are so many ways that enters into a market. And then I believe if Madam Zibo is baking, she will tell you there are different ways whereby or different techniques that bakers actually use to bake their cake. But each method of baking actually has its own side effect and it has its own possible risks attached to it. So whereby you're able to compare methodology that you want to use to engage on a particular operation. Number two, to optimize the use of scarce resources. It helps you to plan as regards to materials or the resources that are very scarce to that particular operation or methodology that you are working with. So if you are trying to engage a particular, let's say you are working on a site or you are working on a particular operation and you need to use a form of mobility. Now, I believe each and every one of us actually are aware that CNG is actually going very viral in the country right now. But though it's actually very known, it's still very scarce in the country because it is not everywhere. So let's say you guys now, everybody in this class, we are privileged to be engaged by an NGO, and then they are sending us a very remote operation. And then we're trying to plan as regards to how we want to get there. And then someone should then say, oh, we can use our CNG card because they will cost us cheaper when we are going there. Yes, CNG is going to cost you less to travel to where you're going and come back. But the problem is this: when we are going to get CNG there, so imagine we should carry our CNG vehicle here, load it up, and then with full tank, we're able to get there. But unfortunately, when coming back, there's nowhere for us to buy CNG. Trust me, what will happen is that we are stuck on the host side. But we should go for the alternative of using a petrol vehicle definitely we will be able to get a petrol station, or where we can buy black market in the village right there. So you get to calculate the type of resources you're using on your project and things like that, scarce resources. Two, to meet regulatory requirements according to approval bodies, identify hazardous situations and procedures. Now, like I said, the procedures for risk assessment, one is identification of the procedures for risk assessment. One is identification of the risk or hazard. Two, you quantify the likelihood of its occurrence. Three, you quantify the consequences. Four, you evaluate the effect on the business or on the work operation. One, I will go again. Identify the hazard, quantify the likelihood of occurrence, quantify the consequences of occurrence, and evaluate the effect of the business. This is 10:50. I always want to keep time. And I think I want to call it a day here, and then we'll continue from here next week. I owe everyone a class demonstration of EMP analysis using Madam Zibo's bakery business. And then from there, next week, we'll pick up the conversation from here next week. The reason why I want to stop here to give room for anyone that wants to ask any question. And then please, if there's any question, please just let me know. We can answer the questions in the next 10 minutes and by 11 immediately. So anyone, any question, please? Is there anyone with any question? Madam Precious, Mr. Joseph, Mr. Yuba, Madam Abigail, anyone with any question, please, so we can address the question. Or maybe there was something that I said that you were not clear with, or you have a particular work schedule that you do, and then you would like to HSE perspective, please. Madam Eboluwa, Mike, Precious, Ogarabiu, please, anyone with any question, please just quickly let us know. You can just unmute yourself, ask your question, and then we would answer the question, and then by 11 we can call it a day. Anybody? So if you don't have any questions, please just wave your hand in the chat box, and then we can shut down for today. No questions at all. Okay, so if there's no question, someone should make the move or adjourning this class to next week. Mr. Ayuba, can you make the move so that we can adjourn the class to next week? Can you people hear me? Dr. Solomon, please, can you hear me?
Okay, my boss. Yes.
Okay.
You want us to stop here today, right?
Yes, yes. So we'll just stop here for today, and then we'll continue next week.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So that everybody can go and rest and actually have a lovely weekend.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
I'm trying to say Madam Zainab.
Yes, so I was checking it. I think did you connect your device via Bluetooth?
Yes, I did. I had to use my Bluetooth mic.
I think that's where the low volume is coming from. So after a while, when you speak for a while, some part of your speech is not clear. It goes down, then it comes up again.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you could try other means, then maybe we'll see to it.
Oh, no problem. By then next week definitely I'll be in the office, so so we'll be able to make use of that.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you so much. All right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So happy Valentine, everyone. Please enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay out of trouble, please, and please stay safe. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, tell me,
Thank you so much, sir.
Oga
Thank you,
Solomon,
sir.
follow. Everybody is standing as sleeping. Next time, everybody have to turn off their camera. Everybody will have to turn on their camera because it's like everybody. I don't know if it's like you were done like you were sleeping or something. So, after Solomon.
I'm here with you.
Yes, sir. The person in the class, the two ladies in the class. I'm trying
Yes.
to recall their names.
Zainab and Etima.
Okay, Madam Etima. Okay, Madam Etima is the next person. Oh yeah, please tell her now that she can go home and rest. I can see that she really needs to go home and rest. Yeah, she has been stretching since. Yeah, so Madam Etima, you can go home and rest now. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Everyone have a lovely weekend.